I just want to share a couple of things that Dan Staples showed me in response to my last blog post. He helped me with some settings, and I just want to pass some of those things on. I'm going to stretch this out into a solid, grab this face, and change its width a little bit. And then I'm going to sketch using a 2-point rectangle, sketch over this face from that edge over to here. Now notice I'm not really using any sketch relations or anything. And here I'm just going to pull this in, the sketch note. I didn't have to invoke any sort of a feature like a extrude or a cut or anything like that. I'm just trying to recreate the part that I made for my previous example. Lock onto this plane, make a circle, and make another circle. Okay, now I'm just going to grab this circle and maybe change its diameter and reposition it somewhat. And then I'll grab it and pull this one up into a solid and push this one down into a cut. Okay, now I can turn off all these dimensions if I like, or I can leave them there. I could delete them, but that's what this PMI was. It's funny how sometimes when you're using SolidWorks, you're in a little bubble, and standard industry terminology doesn't seem to penetrate that SolidWorks bubble. I always thought that PMI was just a solid edge specific term, but it's not. It's an industry term that means product manufacturing information, and it just refers to dimensions on the part, actual dimensions that you could use to manufacture the part. So I can turn these off or on, and I can drill down and specifically turn this one off or that one off. You could even delete them from the list here or delete them from the graphics window. The more I get to know this Solid Edge Pathfinder, the more I like it. It's just very useful. Okay. So now the thing that I was talking about before that I really didn't know anything about were these three boxes, and I'm going to have to make another feature on here to really describe one of them. Okay, now that I've got this, I'll grab in here, and I want to pull it up, but I want to use draft on this. And so I'll have to find the option for draft. That's not it. That's not it. Here it is. Here's draft. Okay, now I'll put it to here. All right. So now these options that we were talking about in the last blog post, one of them can be used on this feature. The Move Connected Faces has this tip and lift, and it's I've run into this before, and I know I've made a video previously on this blog for this issue, but let's take a look at what these two do. The one that I'm currently using is the extend trim option, the extend option. What this does is take these faces, the side faces is what everything's referring to here, and it's going to extend these, and the main face that's selected gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, see that? But if we use this other one of these other options, let's say maybe lift. Use lift, then the face stays the same. Oh, actually, it just extrudes, it creates a separate extrusion from there. Okay, so the other option then, if I Control Z to get rid of that edit, select on here and use the tip option, then the face that I'm dragging stays the same size and the angle on the sides changes. Okay, so that's those are three different options. The extend trim keeps the angle constant on the sides. The tip keeps the size of the moving face constant, and the lift will create another extrude, basically change the topology of the part rather than just the geometry. So these three options are useful stuff that you should know. All right, let's see what about the other ones that I brushed over last time. This one was the move copy, apparently, and if I hold that down, it creates a copy of the feature, which is nice enough. It's interesting and potentially useful. All right, move detach faces. Detaches faces from the model during movement. Dan didn't go over this one. Well, let's see what it does. If I grab this one. Okay, because the solution is invalid. That's what I thought. Interesting. Well, I'm not sure when that one comes into play. Let's talk about this third one though, and he did talk about this one. This gives precedence to one thing or another. So if we drag this cylinder into the area of the rectangular cutout, notice that there are two possible solutions. One is that the cutout could be extended onto the cylinder, and the second is that the cylinder could be extended into the cutout. Now, in SolidWorks, that would require, that kind of change would require you to reorder the features. But here in Solid Edge, all we have to do is take this and set either the select set priority, which means whatever you're moving takes precedence, or the model priority. And see, if I move this into the cutout area, then the cutout is extended onto the cylinder. Okay, so very interesting how Solid Edge gives you this kind of flexibility that you just don't have in SolidWorks. Doing this kind of thing in SolidWorks is not an option. I mean, it's not something that you can do live. It's something that you have to go back and edit the order of the features in order to create. So anyway, I just wanted to show what those few features were, and maybe somebody will chime in with a situation where this move detach faces would be a good one to use.